That concludes meditation, walking meditation known as Jankrom. For the time being, and may the footsteps that we have taken move us closer to awareness. May the footsteps that we have taken moved us further away from the disturbances, the unwholesomeness, and clutter that our mind seems to go to because the lack of proper concentration. Which brings me to the topic of today's topic. Brings me to the point of today's small lecture, which is observing a mighty concentration. Better concentration on what we're doing as practitioners of Vipassana, insight meditation practitioners. A lot of us think that concentration means that we need to sit, think about an object, think about it very, very strongly until the veins are popping out of our foreheads. We're clutching our teeth together. We're starting to sweat, almost to the point to where we're shaking thinking about something. That is not the concentration that we are trying to develop. That type of concentration brings on restlessness and fatigue. This kind of concentration is for the person who wants to tire himself out. The concentration that we are trying to develop is the concentration that is brought about by knowing what is causing us to concentrate, where our direction came from, is going, what stimulated, what projected our thoughts in the first place in contact with our senses. While I was sitting there walking in meditation, I thought about our senses that we have in the body and how if we're unaware about what triggers our tactile senses, then it will derail, it will take away from, it will hijack or take hold of our concentration. Small example, if you're hungry, you start to become irritable. But instead of sitting there focusing on irritability, you have to ask another question, a more wiser question. Well, if I'm hungry, that means my sense of smell is working at an all-time high. My sense of taste is working at an all-time high. If I have so many thoughts and images in my mind while I'm supposed to be concentrating on my breath, concentrating on the Parigama object, which means the object of meditation, whether it be Buddha, a mantra, but I keep having different images inside of my mind, what do you think that means? The sense of sight is going out of control. The things that you have seen are going out of control. There is a over dependency on the sight that is taking over your concentration. If you started off hearing birds, then you started hearing voices, then you start hearing the chainsaw, then you start hearing the water, then that means the sense, your audible senses, the sensation to hear is taking over. There needs to be balance. But in the beginning stages of your meditation, if you become aware of these things before, then it takes the power away from them and back to you as the observer. It's easier to quiet them down because you are aware now that these factors exist. Two things we have in Buddhism from the aggregates. What makes up of the so-called self is called nama and rupa, which means the body and what it consists of, and the mind, or mind and body, the consciousness, the body and the consciousness. They work together because what happens inside the mind is what we call sanya, which is memory. You start to remember things. And because you have memory, your concentration starts to go and reach and grab after thing it remembers. And it distorts the concentration. Your senses are triggered, and because the senses are triggered, it goes directly to your memory. We keep calling it something called monkey mind, monkey mind. It's praised in the West as multitasking, which is not correct. There's so many things that we see on TV, on the magazines, advertisements, and lectures from others. Multitasking, multitasking, multitasking. The brain only has one function, is to concentrate one at a time. But in this case, in the working world, multitasking or having the monkey mind has some type of benefit. The brain is not able to think about 5, 6, 7, even 2 things at the exact same time. If we were able to think about everything at the same time, we wouldn't forget. There'd be no purpose for us to forget things. You're just able to switch between thoughts very quickly. And this is the reason why we come to places like this, is to get away from all the memories that we have that made us keep switching from thought to thought to thought to thought, memory after memory after memory after memory. These form agitations. How to get the mind to slow down is seclusion. You need to form memory of seclusion where there is more peace, more tranquility, more quietude, more quietness. Not adding to speculation, not adding to assumptions, not adding to more things that are going to make the senses go out of control. We want to develop awareness. We want to develop mindfulness, not mindfulness. This is the reason why we choose seclusion. This is the reason why we want to have memories of things that were quiet so we could hear our senses. See deeply how they are affecting our concentration, pulling our concentration, taking our concentration away from the present moment, so we can answer by ourselves through self-awareness, self-mastery, how to gain control, how to spread where our awareness is in the present moment. How far does it go? How deep is it? What are the parameters of our present moment? How to make these senses be quiet. So I will leave us on that note, and hopefully there is something that was said that triggers us to be more aware of the factors of ourselves that cultivate better practice and understanding of our senses and move us closer to what the Buddha has outlined for us as practitioners. If there's anything that I have said that goes against the Buddha, the Dhamma, or the Sangha, let it be known sincerely that all mistakes are of my own, and all things that are correct are from the teachings and the guidance and applied practice of the Lord Buddha. We will sit formal meditation for approximately half hour, give or take. And with that being said, we shall continue. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.